Hey, this is Emily Wolfe, and you're listening to the Nothing Shocking podcast.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking podcast, a non-genre based, all ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
We're putting the band back together.
The numbers all go to 11.
I'm talking about bands that rock. Led Zeppelin. What about Sabbath? AC/DC. Motorhead.
Does that mean it's louder? Isn't it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
I get up off the ground and raise my head. Days like this, think I should be dead. One for Satan, two for me. Let's cheat the devil, it's fun, don't you agree?
Welcome to the Nothing Shocking podcast. I'm your co-host, Jeff Untied, and with me in Dog Bowl Studio is
Coach Inez.
You can find the Nothing Shocking podcast on Libsyn or any podcatchers. Like our Facebook page or follow us on X at No Shock Pod.
You can also find the Nothing Shocking podcast on Rock Rage Radio every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. Our sponsor is Big Strix Vinyl Records and Sports Cards, located in Rock Island, Illinois. New, vintage, and previously owned. You can find it at Big Strix. We would like to thank the Hong Kong Sleepover for allowing us to use their music for our intro and bumper ending. Tonight's guest is
rock musician Emily Wolfe,
promoting her newest single, Lips,
featuring Jesse Hughes of Eagles of Death Metal.
Yeah, fantastic interview. Let's get to it.
All right, good night.
Good night. Emily, welcome to the Nothing Shocking podcast. I'd like to introduce you, my co-host, Jeff Untied.
Emily, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, we're very excited to have you, man. So let's get right into this. This past May, you released your newest single, Lips, featuring Jesse Hughes of the Eagles of Death Metal. Can you talk a little bit more about this creative process behind this new music?
Yeah, this is it's interesting because I historically have written just kind of by myself in like in a silo. I'm like a pretty independent writer, like by default, but I've been working with a producer named Gavin Brown, who I love, and he's somehow gotten me out of the routine of only feeling okay writing by myself. And so now I write with him, and then Jesse was in the studio with us too, and we really wanted to write something that felt like dangerous and like sexy and like taboo kind of, and also had like an 80s flair to it in a weird way. Mm-hmm. Like I kept having like I don't know why, but I kept listening to that Eddie Money song. Like I was just like, I love that song. It's so good. I think it's called like Take Me Home Tonight.
Yes,
and
yeah.
I was like, I want to write something where it's like, if that was flipped, you know? And so that's kind of where the idea came from. And Jesse killed it with the chorus. Like he literally went into the booth and just did it. and me and Gavin looked at each other and we were like, that was really great. I think that's the chorus. So it was cool to watch somebody just go in there and like not care at all, like, and just do whatever first came to mind. And so yeah, and then the rest of the song was kind of just me and him, and yeah, it was a blast.
So cool.
Well, there's also a promotional video for that with the two of you playing. How comfortable are you in front of the camera?
You know, I'm actually more comfortable in front of like cameras and on stage than I am in the rest of my life. I don't really know why. But I feel like off stage, I'm like, oh, like, what is this? And then on stage, I'm like, okay, this is where I feel good, and then the camera as well. But, so yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know why. It's just always been that way.
Well, your collaboration with Jesse on this track seems incredibly natural and organic. Did it feel that way to you as well, and to Jesse when creating the song? Because you guys seem like you have an incredible partnership.
Yeah, what's wild is we hadn't ever met before the day that we wrote that song together, and but I've been a fan of Eagles of Death Metal since I can remember. Like, I remember driving my first car and getting my learner's permit and putting on Eagles of Death Metal in my like little used, Toyota.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was a natural thing because he's so, it's hard to describe him, to be honest. He's such a unique guy. Like, he honestly has completely opposite beliefs than I do. Completely like opposite, personality. Like, he is literally the opposite of me in every way, but somehow, like, musically we understand each other very well, and he just comes at writing songs just so differently than I do. And so, like, in a weird way, that was like, it made it comfortable that we were so different. Like, cause I was like, okay, I'm never going to be you. Mm-hmm. You're never going to be me. Like, so let's just see what happens. And it was pretty awesome and like really quick. And, I learned so much from him, like just watching him like go in there and just truly not give a fuck, like what came out of his mouth. And I was like really inspired by that. So yeah, he's a pretty incredible musician, and, I really look up to him.
That's incredible. Your songwriting methods obviously differed for this track, but for your songwriting for Emily Wolfe exclusive music without anybody else's help, do you have the same methods to your songwriting from track to track, or do you just have certain inspirational time that you need to do your songwriting to? Or I guess maybe tell us a little bit more about the process.
Yeah, the process, it's definitely evolved over time. Like, and actually a big part of the growth that I've gone through with writing my own songs is from watching Jesse go into the vocal booth and not try to be anything at all. Like, and because I've been writing songs for a really long time. And, when I first started, I kind of had this mindset that's like, okay, any line I write on a piece of paper has to be really good. It has to be perfect. The song has to be finished before it even has a chance to be in a process, like I had this like weird pressure, kind of in my process that was like almost debilitating.
Yeah.
And I would always finish the song, but it was never easy. And, since working with Gavin and watching Jesse and just kind of like growing out of my own way, I guess, what I do now is, like I'll literally just like blab, just like whatever I'm feeling, like in the moment, and I'll like vomit onto a piece of paper, not literally, but like, and then I'll kind of allow myself to take whatever that is and sculpt it over time into the song that it's going to be. Instead of like, I guess, limiting myself to, only being like, okay with like a song that's perfect right out of the gate, cause it's like never that way anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's changed. Like now it's very loose, and it's like I'm not trying, because like before, I guess the past year or so, it was very like I was trying to figure out what my style was and like what, I guess everybody else wanted to hear. And now I'm just like, okay, what do I want to do? what do I want to play? What's the most fun to play? And, you know, like Lips and Crave Me and the stuff that's going to come out, over the next few months is like, it's honestly like what I have fun doing. So like there's less pressure, self-inflicted pressure on this stuff that I'm putting out now.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I know you play multiple instruments, but besides Jesse, do you have anybody else helping you out on this record?
Yeah, honestly, it's literally just me and Gavin, and Sean Dealey, engineering, and there were a few other engineers and assistant engineers, but a lot of time, you know, it's just me and Gavin playing guitar, me and Gavin playing bass, me and Gavin playing drums, and that's kind of it. And I've never done a record like this before, and it's been so fun, you know. So I think I'll probably continue to do it this way.
Fantastic. Well, you've been supporting Youngblood for some live shows. Can you tell our listeners about the opportunity opening up for Youngblood, and how's been the crowd response to your opening of Youngblood for these sporadic shows?
Yeah, it's been incredible. I've never seen someone have an audience like him. Like, it's almost like, and I mean this in the best way, it's almost like cult-like, you know, like, yeah. And I totally get it, because I had never seen one of his shows before I got on the bill, and I was like, I'm so excited to see this, because like I've heard so many good things, and I've seen, you know, the Changes video that like exploded. Mm-hmm. And like, he's so good, and I want to experience it. And so his show is unreal. He is an unbelievable performer, you know? And it's so cool to play for an audience like that, because he comes from this place where he's like all about acceptance and love and like diversity. And so I feel that as an opener from the audience, like, whereas, you know, if I were to open for like Social Distortion, I don't know if that would be the same thing, because those, you know, Social D fans are historically like very kind of not against the opener, but they're just ready to see Social Distortion, you know. Mm-hmm. But Youngblood fans, like they're just there for the experience, and like he really does an amazing job at making everybody in that arena feel included. Like, and so it was great, and it was inspiring to see. And I hope that there's more in the future.
Well, can you tell our listeners a little bit more about how that opportunity came to you?
Yeah, so actually it came through my relationship with Gibson and Epiphone. So I've worked with Gibson guitars for it's been like 12 years, I think. Mm. And I've always played Gibson and Epiphone stuff, and so I've got a couple signature guitars with Epiphone, and Youngblood does as well. So that connection kind of came through the family that is Gibson Guitars, and my manager works closely with him on that stuff, and she pitched, you know, me opening some of the shows, and he likes the music and said, sure, let's do it, which was great and so cool. So that's kind of how that happened.
Oh, what a fantastic opportunity.
Well, I see you got some shows coming up in September across the Southwest and East Coast. Also, working with Frank Turner, and I think some of the shows were with the Toadies. Can you give our listeners kind of an upcoming what to expect from those shows?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm a fan of both of those dudes. Well, Toadies is a full band. I'm a huge Toadies fan, big fan of Frank. Me too. And yeah, like I'm so stoked. I love being a support act, because like you get to just go and play your show, and like, you know, the audience is there, and hopefully you can rope in, you know, some of the headliners' fans, but ultimately it's fun to just like one, I get to play my show, but then I get to see the headliner play. So it's like, it's like, that's really fun. And I'm so excited to see them play. And I've seen the Toadies live a bunch, and they're just killer. Like, I love their shit.
Well, this September, you're also going to be playing the Frank Turner's Festival, correct? Can you talk? Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's in Dallas. I believe it's called Lost Evenings Fest. And it's like a bunch of people in the lineup. And let's see, Lost Evenings Fest. I think on the day I'm playing, there's like Trail of Dead's playing, and then Girl in a Coma's playing. And then the Menzingers are playing on the 24th, Ben Queller on the 25th, Get Up Kids, Vandaliers, like all these like really killer bands that I love. So it's interesting. It's like a 3-4 day festival, and Frank Turner, headlines and hosts, and it'll be awesome. It's at the South Side Ballroom, I think. Yeah, in Dallas.
Oh, very good.
Oh, neat. Well, I guess tell our listeners a little bit more about your live show, like as far as the energy you bring to the table. What can or I guess tell us a little bit more about your approach to the keeping the crowd, because you got to when you're opening band, you got a short time set. You got to really bring it, don't you?
Totally. Yeah, it's funny because you kind of have to be really like good at reading energy, and reading like a group of people. So like, and it depends on the city too. Like, if I go play a rock show in Baltimore, I know that they're like ready to rage because Baltimore loves rock. If it's a sleepy town in, I don't know, like somewhere in Massachusetts on a Wednesday night or something, like I don't open the show with my heaviest song. But like the live show it's all energy. Like I feel like between shows, I'm like storing up energy. And then by the time I get to the stage, it kind of just explodes and I can't help it. But yeah, like, my friend Brian Fallon from Gaslight Anthem, like actually taught me something really, really valuable about like set list order and stuff when you're a support band. And he told me he was like, okay, a set list is like flirting with somebody. You can't just like go and hit them so hard with your big, best line. Like you got to ease into it. You got to introduce yourself with like something that they might like. And then you take them up and down in a journey. And, so that's what I try to do, ever since he told me that. And, it's a lot of energy, and I've got a bass player and a drummer that I love, and it's just the three of us in a van, and we go to the shows and play, and it's a lot of fun.
I wanted to bring up gear, the gear that you're taking on the road with you opposed to the gear that you use in the studio. Can you talk a little bit more about your gear, your road gear and your studio gear?
Yeah. So I actually I live in Austin, and my tour van and my, like, all of the equipment I use for the road is stored in my van. And so it's like, I've got this Slingerland drum kit that I love. It's like the kick is huge and it's like really shallow. So it's got like the perfect amount of punch. So like that drum kit is it sounds really big. And then my bass player's rig is with me, and he plays one of those grabber basses, which have become really, really popular over the past year or so. They were like a huge deal in the 80s, and then I guess they got discontinued or something like that, and Epiphone started making them again. But so he does that, and then on the road I take Epiphone guitars and my pedal board, and in the studio though I play Gibson guitars because like when I'm on the road, like the Epiphone stuff, like it's really tough to break that stuff, like, you know, and I'm truly all over the place on stage. So, I don't have to be as precious with that stuff. And then in the studio, the pickups just sound a lot more expensive because they are. So that's the difference in guitars that I play in the studio versus live. But as far as amps, like I love to kind of combine, like a big amp with a smaller amp. So I've got, a 410 Fender combo amp, and then I've got like a 1x10 Vibro champ that I bring. And yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, I think I read about that you like designing guitar and bass pedal boards. Can you talk or elaborate a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I love doing that stuff. I love figuring out like the best kind of way to design like my pedal board and my sound in the guitar world as like a low, mid to mid range kind of thing that covers that frequency spectrum. And then my bass player, I really like to kind of sculpt that to be the frequency that is like under, like scoop the mids out. So then I cover what he's missing and then he covers what I'm missing. And so that way it's like the entire frequency spectrum is truly covered, like between basically just two of us, and then there's drums. So I do think I have quite a big sound live. At least I've been told that a bunch, but I think it's because of like I work really hard on making sure that my gear and my rig can sound really big and full in any environment. Like, cause every room's different. So, you know, like some venues are carpeted and some are concrete and some are, and plus like where I'm at in my career, like I'm a lot of times at the mercy of the house sound engineer. So I've tried to try and make it like a foolproof kind of thing where no matter who's behind the board, it's going to sound hopefully like consistent and big. But yeah, I mean, I love gear. It's like my favorite thing. That and cool. Birds.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Let's go back to let's see here, 2023. You had the album Blowback, and can you talk a little bit about the making of that album? Because you had, I think, was that the one that was produced with Michael Schumann?
So that was the second one.
That was the second Outlier.
Yeah, Outlier. So he did that one, and then Ben Tanner from Alabama Shakes did the first one.
Yeah.
And then the Blowback I did myself because I really wanted to see if I could do it. And I felt really kind of like cagey about those songs because they're so incredibly personal. And I was like, I can't give these to some other producer. Like, I got to do this myself. And it was really fun. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of prep and like, you know, being the artist and then also the producer. You're, you know, like essentially kind of doing two different jobs that are really equally as important as the other. And it was a lot, but I really loved doing it. I got to try everything I've ever wanted to try, like in terms of gear. There was like a point where I taped an SM57 mic to a remote control car and just like drove it around like in the tracking room while this guitar was feeding back. So like there's a song called Dead in Luck where the feedback in the beginning is from that whole experience. And yeah, it was, I mean, I loved it. It was so much fun. But I was pretty exhausted after the making of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the track, Walk in My Shoes. That was really cool.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
I wanted to touch upon the Outlier album. You know, that album features the Damage Control track. That is my favorite Emily Wolfe track of all time. Can you talk a little bit more about, can you talk about that song a little bit more? Because that song is a banger.
Oh my God. that means so much to me. Like, nobody really ever talks about that second record. I don't, which is like a bummer. So that means a lot to me that you bring that up. But Damage Control, yeah, like that one, that song I wrote initially, and it had like a more bluesy feel. And Michael was like, man, we gotta straighten it out. It's like, don't do the bends, like make it just like so, just like blah, 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 like chop it, you know, and like make it hit. And I was like, okay, great. So, and I don't know if you've heard his project, but he's got a project that a solo project called Glue. And if you listen to Glue and then if you listen to Outlier, you'll hear a lot of the same sounds, because he's got this kind of signature way of putting a bunch of things together that like you wouldn't expect to mix well, but they do. And like, so yeah, he put a ton of like ear candy in that track. And, it was really fun to like pick all the guitar tones and like, so yeah, that was a really fun one to do. I remember the guitar solo was like that we wrote that one. I was on his couch and I was like, trying to get this guitar solo right, and I kept messing up. And then I finally got it, and like the cheer that erupted from him and the engineer were like, I'll never forget it, because it's like, yeah, it was like kind of insane actually how difficult it was, but we were kind of writing that guitar solo while it was being recorded, so it was kind of this like rush of energy in a song.
Such a cool song.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I liked Death Row Kiss off that album.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Thank you.
Well, I have one last question for you. I don't know what Jeff's got over there, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about your body of work. You've released 4 studio albums and 3 EPs since 2012. And I wanted to ask you, about your songwriting evolution since that first album in 2012, I believe, Director's Notes. Can you talk a little bit more about the evolution of your songwriting? I guess maybe the maturity of it up to this point.
Yeah, gosh, that's so wild. Like, Director's Notes is like my hidden secret underground record that came out after my first heartbreak in college. So like, that's so cool that I've got about 1,000 CDs of that in my garage. So, yeah, like, that first record in 2012 was like me literally seeing what would happen. Like, and I remember selling that record for like $10 on my college campus, and that was the only way that it was distributed. And then everybody bought all the copies, and then I was like, well, I'll order 1,000 more, and then all of my my connections were exhausted, so like now I still have so many of them. But yeah, that record, I wrote that in my closet in college in my apartment. And I took an audio engineering class because I really wanted to learn how to do it. And my teacher actually recorded the record for like $600, and it was so fun. And so my songwriting at that point was very fresh still, and dramatic. And it was really soft too. Like, I hadn't found my rage yet. I had only like found kind of my pain though. And so, that's kind of like the soft 20-year-old me. And then the next record, is a lot heavier. There's a lot of electric guitar and a lot of soloing because, after I put Director's Notes out, I started gigging a lot in Austin, and it was so quiet that I started to realize, like, oh, nobody's paying attention at all to this, like, because I'm not loud enough. And so then I was like, what if I just got a fucking big amp and I turned up so loud that none of these people have the option to talk during my set? And so that's why I started to do electric stuff. And I actually ended up liking it so much more than acoustic songwriting. But yeah, so that first record is me, like, honestly, like, being kind of pissed that, like, nobody gave a shit, you know, that I was up there. And there were, of course, people who were into it. But when you're just by yourself and you don't have a band and it's just you and a guitar, it is a really vulnerable thing. Yes. And so, yeah, so then I was like, all right, I'm going to get a band and I'm going to play loud and I'm going to throw up 2 middle fingers and I don't care. It's just going to be so fun. And so then, you know, so I did that for a while, and then I met Michael, and he introduced me to all these different production tricks. And so that kind of bled into my songwriting. And then, I took a lot of those tricks and things I learned from him to the Blowback album and got to experiment and do like wild stuff. And then now I'm on this next chapter of my career with Gavin, where like I'm just having fun, and it's never been better. Like, you know, I'm not trying to be anything other than literally like what is the most fun to play. So that's kind of where it is now. But I will say that the thread between all of the records in my songwriting is that I have to write in a very small space. Like right now, even I'm sitting in my closet in my studio because like I don't know why, I just like really I have to be in a tiny space if I want to like open up or like write something, you know, like write a song. So pretty much all of my songs are written in a small space.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, I know your latest, your Lips and Crave Me were out on Judge and Jury Records. When can listeners expect the full length?
Yeah, we're talking about, so I'm actually going up to Toronto in a couple of weeks to finish it up. And we're looking at putting a couple of singles out like July and August. And then the full thing will be out hopefully in September. That's the target date. So yeah, I think the fall will be when everything comes out.
Oh, exciting. Well, we're out of our allotted time for the evening. Is there anything that we left off tonight that you would like to plug or promote?
You know, I think you guys are so like great. Like I think you covered it all, like with the tour and the, and you know, Toadies and Prank and, yeah, I think that's it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, this is how things are going to work out. Once Jeff, the editing wizard over here, gets everything cleaned up, we'll make sure we send it to Shauna. I will send it to you directly through text messages. Does that work?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
And please share it wherever you possibly can on your socials. We'd really appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah. Fantastic.
For sure.
Emily, it was an honor to have you on tonight. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, great.
Hey,
thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Have a good one.
grip of death. You can have the air you need, but you best not take one breath. Hey. Roll the dice. Take your chances. Everybody knows the game is fixed, there is no prize. Everybody pulls the plug and says that